call this meeting to order. Call the roll, please.
Kinsey,
Here.
Mossberg, Wigner, Logston,
Here.
Parsons.
Next item would be, since we do have a quorum, would be approve the minutes of the regular meeting held on October 14th. Is it right? Yeah, you were. Then how can we, yeah. Yeah. I'll make the motion that we approve them. Second.
Sorry, who's second?
Call the roll, please.
Logston,
Yes.
Kinsey.
Yep.
Mossberg.
Yes. That passes, so we'll go on to the next item, number 4, report from staff. Do we have anything from the city council? Not today?
Not today. They were starting some city manager interviews this afternoon. That will still stay open until the 15th. And so after the 15th, then we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to that next item, 4B, which would be the airport manager's report.
All right, sorry I was not here last month. I'm here this month. So we did just finish up the 2-bay windows in the office. Short of me getting blinds or some kind of a wind sunblock put up, I'm going to do some research on finding something that's going to work good for that the cost isn't super high either, so we can watch our spending. Fuel-wise this month, we'll go through the numbers really quick. Fuel was up. I also ended up getting 2 tanks of fuel, jet fuel. One was to fill up the above ground because the above ground is now operational. And it came out and worked on our register that had gone down. We were almost selling fuel and not recording it. It is now working again. So we are back to be able to sell fuel. Nobody has used it. Nobody has expressed need for it. Try to empty out the in-ground and then move survival flight over to the above ground only. I already went through a training with them so they could understand how to use it, get familiarization with it, and check how heavy the hose was because that was the safety concern they had. Everybody's happy with it. I got a step stool out there for the shorter individuals that needed help to be able to get it off and get it back on. The only thing I'm waiting on is I'm going to contact the pilots again so I can put a mark on the concrete, a no closer than mark for them, so that way we don't have to worry about the rotors making contact with the tank or the fence in the dark or if they're in a hurry. We're also going to latch open the gates during normal operations, so that way we don't have to worry about rotor wash, moving the gates around and stuff like that, also causing a wingtip strike or blade strike. I did talk to Toby regarding that because I was thinking about taking the gates off completely. Per safety requirements, we are not allowed to remove the gates. He said if I bungee them open, it won't be as bad. They could still give me a stir talking to if they come inspect it. But if I remove the gates, they can violate us and fine us. ODA or OCC. You guys are welcome in. Come on, sorry. No, you're good. Come on in. Bathrooms are straight back to your left. Thank you. Absolutely. So I won't remove the gates. It's a security requirement that they're on, as it was put in the email because the airport is not gated. The fuel tank has to be gated. I don't know the specifics. He sent me the Oklahoma legislature or whatever it is that justifies that. I didn't go in depth into it, but I'm going to trust what Toby said to that extent. Regular fuel and stuff, we were 2,600 in loss. That was due to the 2 jet fuel tankers that came in. We sold most of that. Had quite a list for large aircraft traffic this last month. Lots of jets in and out, lots of people moving. And for the regular fuel inventory sales, we had an uptick in oil sales, and I turned around and made a purchase to refill that oil we had sold. Past that, our jet fuel was 27,000, our gas was 14,000 total, for a total monthly sales of 41,000. All right, on to some of my points. Fuel. There's a couple things that were discovered as well that I will bring up in the next couple bullet points that we need to figure out as a board on how we want to move forward with it. While doing the construction, some areas that were found that are still needing work, but instead of just moving forward with it, I'd like to get your guys' input on it and approvals to move forward with it. Other than that, you guys are aware of the meeting we are supposed to have next Monday. I don't believe I have anything else for you guys, pending your questions.
Anybody have any questions? The manager?
AWAS, was there a question on AWAS?
AWAS is operational. AWAS is transmitting. I am aware that for some reason, is it Foresight or Foreflight is not reporting weather. It is, the AWAS is reporting out. The AWAS call-in is working as well. The radio transmission is working. I sent an email. They told me they were going to look into it and get back to me. I'll resend an email, find out if they found anything. But it's reporting everywhere else, so I don't understand why it's not reporting to that one location. And I do understand as well, there's another site that is not reporting, is it relative humidity or dew point spread or something like that. It wasn't reporting on it, but it's reporting every other piece. So I don't know if it's because they don't have that selected at the website to report out. They're receiving the data, but it's not reporting out the data. That's the only thing I can think of. You can't get some of the data and not all of it. That makes sense.
It sounds like everything's working.
As far as
Since one place is receiving it and the other isn't,
yeah,
it means that we are transmitting it out.
yeah, we're pushing it out across the data, across voice, and across radio. So it's either they don't have something selected, or there's some firewall setting that I'm not aware of that's specific to that site when it's being pushed out that it's not receiving it.
What about the oval lights?
The odal lights, I talked to Toby. The odal lights we need to repair if we're going to repair them. It's at the airport level to repair them.
Okay. And at one point you reported that they were obsolete, that the manufacturer went out of business, is that correct?
They are. There's the option of replacing them with brand new if we want all those.
And you said, Toby,
Toby also said they're not a requirement.
yeah, but you told me that the other airports that have that brand, that none of them are working correctly.
None of them are working.
That company is apparently,
It would seem like the OA season said we're going to put all those things in it, they would come back and warn you for us.
yeah,
And
that's
make
what
it
I
a
thought.
liability.
We can, yeah,
That may be something we bring up on the 17th.
right. I was thinking the same thing. And he's got more answers, more detailed answers.
All right. Thank you for checking into that.
Absolutely.
Because that's an instance where somebody created a liability for us. Because we didn't ask for that.
questions for the manager? If not, we'll go on to the next item, number 5, discussion on sale of red truck.
Sorry, can you just, okay, discussion for the sale of the red truck. I understand from the last meeting, I went back and watched the video, and, I mean, there was a little bit of a halt in the movement of the red truck, because I had started working on it with Steve, and then, Steve's stuff happened. So I'd like to start re-engaging that, but I'm trying to find out what you guys are looking for whether there's a capped sale price, like no lower than, and which direction we want to go on trying to sell it, whether it be auction, city, whatever the city sales site is, private sales site. I don't know what is going to be the best route to get rid of that, because we need to get rid of it. It's just sitting there and it's just losing money as it sits there.
Yeah, I've been yelling about that for more than a year.
But I'd like to at least try to get what your guys' thoughts are on if there's a minimum that you guys
Have you
won't
done any
let it go
comparative
for.
analysis for other trucks that are out there for sale, what they're asking,
I
or
have
something
not.
at the same?
I have not. I just want to make sure if you want me to go ahead and do that, or if there was okay, don't you go any lower than this number because we have to recoup this much money, or we don't want to lose more than this much money.
Well, let me put it this way. It seemed that the previous personnel, both out here and downtown, was not in any hurry to deal with the situation, regardless of the amount of input I expressed. And therefore, we're where we're at today. And I think we're going to take a pretty good sized loss no matter what we do. But I still think it's incumbent upon us to do it as expediently as possible to try to maximize what we can out of it. To me, in order to do that, if I'm going to sell something, I need to kind of know what its value is. Either I've got to go down to the bank and get the NADA book, or go on eBay or comparable sites that have equipment like that for sale to see what they're asking for those things, to know what kind of market we're in. And then at the same time, if we're looking at those sites, if we know that there's been any, sometimes the sites will tell you if certain equipment has sold within 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or if stuff's not moving properly, we may have to go more to an auction thing if we want to be more expedient about moving it. I still think we need to gather data. I hate to see us go another month, but
Has anybody called the dealer that we bought it from?
I don't know where we bought it from. I tried looking for paperwork on it here.
it was
Couldn't find it.
north of Wichita. It was on the north side. It was in Park City, wasn't it?
Well, my thought is
I may have that information.
you can call them up and say, hey, we were talking into this truck and it was a mistake, it won't work for us. Is there any help that you could give us to possibly sell or whatever? Or take it on a consignment or something, anything to get rid of it.
But I would encourage you to go out and see what value range it hits in, because at this point I don't know.
They should be able to tell us the value range.
Okay.
And then if they take it on consignment, what does a consignment cost? Do that, maybe we park it on their lot. If we decide to sell it ourselves on some website or through advertisements, what we need to advertise it at. And then there's Big Iron Auction, there's Purple Wave, there's equivalent companies like that do, and several out of Enid that handle equipment sales. A lot of them are no reserve auctions.
Okay. What
We couldn't do it no reserve. We gotta have a reserve on it.
What I will do moving through this month is I will get all this looked up and I will prepare a report with the cost analysis, value. I will attempt to, or will get the information on how quickly similar items like this are being sold. And then a effective decision making on what I can find for a good route moving forward to sell it, as well as the other options so that we can see them. I'll get that prepared up by the next board meeting, or I will give you a status update of where I'm at on the next board meeting.
Does that give you enough guidance to go off of?
It does. If I have any more questions, then I'll have what I can have ready by the next board meeting, and I can post those questions in.
Anything else on the truck? If not, let's go on to the next item, which is number 6. Discussions, recommendations, and approval to get bids to fix the water damage under the FBO southwest windows.
That window right behind you guys, you can see the baseboard is removed off it. We pulled the baseboard thinking that, well, we were going to inspect it. And I'll pull it back so you can see it. The water, the wood underneath is completely disintegrated. It's complete water damage. It's not termite, it's all water. So we were going to move forward with it, and then there were changes in spending allowances, and I decided I was going to go ahead. I decided, as well as with recommendations, that I would bring it to you guys for approval to start moving forward on getting bids to get it fixed before it collapses or breaks the windows itself.
I think it's time to move forward with getting bids.
Is that the only one, or is it the one in the corner?
The one in the corner is okay. The one right there behind you guys is dry as well. It's that one right there. And they pulled off the trim off those. They were good. That's the only one that's rotted out like that. I don't know about the position of it.
Other parts of the building been checked.
There's a broken window in here. They're supposed to be coming back to fix it. It was contractor broke while they were pulling trim. So they're supposed to be coming back to
But the
fix it.
structure underneath those is fine. And then the other rooms.
We did not check those rooms. If you would like me to, I can go through it. I can go through and check them. But be cautious that if I pull them off, we may not be able to get the baseboard back on, depending on what we find.
So if it's in that kind of shape, it needs to be fixed.
Okay.
I'd look at it, and then, well, we got somebody here to fix those, and as well, see what the cost would be.
Okay. I could do that, and I can
Well,
have.
let's drag our feet till after the 17th.
Oh,
See what kind of fight we're in.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
There's no, I mean, seriously, there's no need to put thousands of dollars into fixing this if we're in a losing battle with the state on, and want to come in and redo a whole bunch of crap.
My only concern with this window specifically is the amount of open space now because of how much that was disintegrating.
I understand. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
That's why I was going to suggest if we don't want to dig any further, then I can hold off on the digging any further until the 17th.
I mean, I want it fixed, but I ain't fixing something that's gonna,
Just get
Take
torn
that
down.
down.
yeah.
Absolutely.
We can use their room instead of ours.
No, there's no need to always. That's the way ours works. It's not my version.
Can I at least get bids on that window specifically then?
Just so you know, I'm working on this, it's a 50-50. And they're not looking at small dollars, they're looking at millions.
It's not 90-10 or 95-5 like taxiway was.
Okay.
Yeah, I just get a quote on that.
Okay.
Just so we got an idea.
Anything else on the windows?
Sweet.
If not, we'll go on to item 7, discussion, progress on uniform proposal.
So I am working with, so this is one of them that Joe was wanting a touch base with, and I'm still waiting on a couple pieces of information from can't remember the other company. But I'm going to prepare a full proposal for you guys, full typed up proposal, because there's a third option that I would like to propose. That would include like a military style clothing allowance that the board provides a certain amount for the employees. It is on them to then make sure they are in the proper uniform the entire year, or 6 months, or however it's broken up to be dispersed. I personally like the laundered option, but I also understand that there is a certain amount of more convenience and cost effectiveness if it's just a cash allowance, and then it's on the employees to make sure they're done properly. So, wanted to let you know that I'm still working on it and that I am going to have a full proposal typed up by the next board meeting.
Do any other city departments do anything like this?
I don't know for sure, but I've seen.
We used to, UniFirst, I believe, the thing with them is that you've got to sign a pretty lengthy contract. And then that could be like a 5-year deal. So, if you want to get out of it before that, it's going to cost you quite a bit. That's the only thing. So, now I think Water and Street Department have gone with, they just purchase their own shirts and have city ballot stuff put on them.
They have like a uniform allowance in their budget.
Yeah.
And
Like what he's
just,
talking about.
yeah, they just have to purchase them and then they,
So we would be in line with other departments. Then.
right,
Yeah.
correct.
That's the only thing, and I was kind of telling him, that's the only thing I hate is if you sign a long contract like that and you're not happy with them, I mean, you're stuck.
Yeah.
So,
For the update, I'll have the full proposal with all 3 options available for you guys to look at, discuss, and make a decision on by next board meeting. Any questions related to that?
There's no action on that item, so we'll go on to the next, number 8, discussion, recommendations and approval on actions to be taken for light rent and fuel oil charge case.
So the reason I put this or requested this be on here is there's an individual that's thousands of dollars, we all know. And what I'm looking at, there's also a conflict with a red portion of that amount. I understand that. I'm looking to rectify the airport side of it. Already talked. But there's still oil and fuel being charged to a delinquent account. I'm asking that I get an approval, I don't know if it's after 60 days of delinquencies or 90 days, to be able to lock them out as a manager side to not be able to purchase fuel, whether it be on their airport issued fuel card that works at the pump and then I update through charge counts, or if it's through the truck on charge or oil itself. That's what I'm asking for, is the ability to do that, so that way they're not still continually racking up delinquencies.
So we currently have no policy on delinquent fuel charges.
We don't have a policy on it, no. It's been up to the discretion, but with,
Of the airport manager.
yes, but with the amount it is and the fight, I guess is the right wording, I want to make sure that I have the board's approval to be able to do that, at least until the delinquency is corrected.
Well, probably in my opinion, the cleanest way to do that is for you to develop a policy. Write it out, have a written policy, bring it to the board, for us to vote on. And that way then it become part of our other policy. And then there's no question. And you can run it, mail it out to us to where we have a chance to comment on it and send it back to you before the meeting. I don't think we're breaking the laws for that individually, are we?
if you can
To
block,
them as a group, but they have to reply individually.
Just-
Yeah.
But I'll show you how to do that.
Yeah.
Send it out like that, well then you could have the composite finished policy to bring back to the board. If you need it before the next
I'd hate to see delinquency, the amount we currently have, continue.
Right.
Um,
But I think it's better that we have a written policy that we actually vote on.
Okay.
And then it's there in print, everybody has it.
I'll prepare that then. That ready, I'll definitely have it ready by the next board meeting, for sure. If not, I'll have it up for review probably within the week.
And you could probably talk to other airports and see what they have in place. Sometimes that is online at the airport sites.
Okay. Absolutely.
But I feel better if it's written, then we always have something to go back to.
That's good.
Anything else on item 8? And we're not taking any action on that item at this time, so we'll have it for the next meeting when you have the proposal drawn up. Go on to item 9, remarks and inquiries by airport commission members.
So at this point, are all hangar rental leases and all ground leases out? Is there anything that has not been done in that regard? Now, I mean, has every building and airplane hangar been accounted for with a lease?
No, because of the dates. I have not been able to get back through and look at dates on them to see how out of date the lease itself is. I have not got a chance to do that. I know for a fact the ones that I have worked on that are monthly ones are current, but the actual leases themselves, like ground leases and building leases, stuff like that, some of them are pretty outdated. I have not got the chance to do that.
Well, some were dated a long time ago, but they're extended year to year.
Correct.
But what I'm asking is, have you been able to match up a ground lease with every structure out
No,
there?
not yet. I have not.
Do you have a target date for that? Because we're almost halfway through the year. I mean, is this a 30-day, 60-day?
I would say with, only because of what I have, I would request 60.
So by the January meeting?
Yes.
Because we want to, I know of at least 2 that's been out for a long time. I mean, that aren't. I mean, our airport, there are people that pay religiously, that do everything appropriately out here. And I just hate to see them, I guess, be abused by those that don't or aren't. Now, whether it's our fault because we haven't gotten the leases out, or whether it was never brought up, I don't know. But we need to make sure that it's equal all the way around.
Absolutely. I will have this by the January meeting. I apologize for any movement on it. Yeah.
But every airplane that rents from a hangar space from the city has a rental agreement. Like everything in all the T hangars,
Yes.
or the Round Top, or the Avon,
Uh,
they all have a rental agreement.
no, the temporary ones do not.
Where are they paying?
It's,
There was one thing that was set up was that if there's an airplane in a hangar, ground or other, and if the mechanic's working on it, it can be moved out of the hangar and another airplane set in its spot while it's being worked on because of limited space. And basically take over, if that hangar was a late spot. It's just a shared deal.
Right, so, all right,
But
I understand that. But are we-
is that the one, what you're talking about?
yes,
And then once in a while temporarily,
what do you consider temporary, less than a month, a week?
a couple days.
Okay. All right, so Because I mean, if we're starting to stretch it to like a month or longer, I mean, they need to be charged, I would think.
I put in an airplane in the round top yesterday, so I could move and get another airplane in, because I didn't have to move it out and leave it out, waiting on the customer to bring his in, but I intend to put it back in my inventory.
Most of our, or all of our aircraft that have been in the round top or the hay barn for that matter have been getting charged. Yes, there is a question of whether the charge for the hay barn is correct or not. Come up with a way to fix that should make everybody happy. An agreement, yeah, I think we need to get an actual paper agreement, so that way there's something to fall back on. Up to this point, it's been the individual, that aircraft that was parked in there with the missing engine. I annotated on the calendar what day it was put in there, and I prorated that month for that amount, and then the next month was charged. And then I found out today that it was removed, so I won't be adding that on to next month's charges. I have a spreadsheet with monthly charges and annotate where the item's at. But an actual written agreement, we don't have that, and I think I need to go back through and do that.
We need an agreement with numerous blanks in it, and you can just fill in the blank, depending on the length of storage and the rate.
With that, I need to know if they're being moved around though. That's the only thing I would request.
Yeah.
So that, even if I do a binder that says round top hanger binder, so that way we can go in and the customer can sign, it was put in on this day, and it was moved on this day, whether it's by the customer or by maintenance or whatever, we have a dropped off, picked up date. So we can go back and reference it in case of billing issues.
Well, there's a liability aspect there too.
And yes, and the aircraft itself is in the hangar. If the hangar goes up or something happens to the hangar, the aircraft's covered.
I'm just trying to avoid something slipping through the cracks and ends up being there month after month and not get charged.
Okay, when they go to rent for, let's say they come in and tell you we're gonna rent for 5 days, do they pay upfront rent?
No.
Do they pay a deposit?
Usually it's on the backside. That's something we could discuss though.
I'm just wondering because if they come in and say we're gonna rent space for 2 weeks, okay, well, I'm gonna charge you 50% of what 2 weeks would be. I'm gonna charge you in front this, and then whenever they come to get it, if it is 2 weeks, you charge them the back half of them when they pick it up. So maybe you're couping some of the funds on the front end. So if something else does happen, then we've at least got some funds up front. I mean, I don't know, guys, if that.
I don't know how we were doing it. We were just, they let people spend the night in there. I assume we collected up front, but maybe not.
Depends on when they're getting the fuel. Usually we collect it when they actually get charged for the fuel. Sometimes because, especially in the summer, they request the fuel in the morning because it doesn't expand as much. So we do both. When we charge the fuel, we also charge the hangar. We can't set the rule to where the hangar's up front though. I don't see a pilot having an issue with that, knowing that their aircraft's going to go in a hangar and have to pay for it up front, whether they get fuel or not.
Yeah, and I mean, at least it's a deposit of some sort. You're paying 50% of what the total plant charge would be, or if it's, even if it's one night, you pay it up front. Right, I don't know what the pilots are like or not, but it's money collection.
Yeah, and I know there was a time where we were not collecting for overnights. I don't think that's the right way to move forward though, because it is just loss of funds, loss of income. Absolutely agree with the not charging for ramp fees, because that's an attractant to bring them in. Our fuel price attracts them in, but if they're going to have an aircraft in our hangar, one, we're semi-liable for the aircraft in the hangar, but we should also at least try to collect the income from that overnight.
You need to be consistent, because if we end up billing that